Dallas on Sunday night. Football night in America with all the Week 1 highlights, and my conversation with Tony Romo gets things going at 7 p.m. Eastern. And tonight, after this game in Foxborough, it's The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. His guests are Andy Samberg and Carrie Underwood, plus Jimmy's Tonight Show superlatives with your favorite NFL players. And tomorrow night, Jimmy's guests include Donald Trump. The Tonight Show coming up after your late local news. And coming up after this, it's the second half from Foxborough.
And the 10th season of Sunday Night Football starts right there, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. And Chris, we've done a few of those Giants.
Yes, we have.
I don't care where they finish in the standings or where they are in the standings. A lot of memorable games.
Yeah, Eli Manning, Odell Beckham, all those guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think this Dallas Cowboys defense may end up being one of the big stories this year. They are deep on that defensive line and very athletic and explosive defensive side of the ball.
The NFC East, a very interesting race coming up. No question about that. With the Philadelphia Eagles, we'll see them against Carolina in October. The Giants on Sunday night. All starts with Carrie Underwood getting us underway. 10th season in 3 nights. Meanwhile, here 14-3, New England on top by 11, and they will get the ball to start the third quarter. Scobie line drives that one through the end zone. New England will start at the 20-yard line. Tom Brady tonight completed his last 12. He's 15 out of 17. 2 touchdowns, both to Gronkowski, who scored 3 overall for 41 yards. Meanwhile, the Steelers, Roethlisberger, 12 of 17 for 166. Many of those to Antonio Brown. 33 straight games with 5 or more catches in an NFL record. That's every game over the equivalent of more than 2 seasons. Brady from the 20-yard line to the outside, and Edelman's having a huge night. That's a gain of 11 and a first down. Julian Edelman, his prime target, 7 for 71 now.
This is not how it's supposed to go for the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight defensively. Even on the first snap after coming out at halftime, they still were having trouble getting lined up with what the New England Patriots were doing.
Through the middle, squirting his way forward for a gain of about 4, Dion Lewis.
Well, Tom Brady, when he came out about an hour before the game, the ovation, as you might expect, was absolutely huge, and Brady was going to contribute to get them going a little bit. Really, the entire first half, I can remember one pass that he missed to Danny Amendola down the sideline, but he was pretty much perfect that first half.
And that's Bolden for a gain of 1, stopped there by Ryan Shazier. It'll be 3rd down, 3rd and 4.
And here's where they need it. The Pittsburgh Steelers defensively, they need something big to happen here. This is when you start looking to that front 7. This defensive bunch is going to be built around the front 7. They're young on the back end. They're going to make some changes. They're going to try and keep it simple. You need a sack. You need something to happen up front to give this back end a little protection.
Be nice, too, to get a 3rd down stop here. Patriots have converted 4 of 5 on this down. And you can make that 5 out of 6 as Edelman makes his 8th catch of the night to move the chains.
Well, Edelman has beat him across the formation. Now he's coming out the other way and beating him. So for Antoine Blake, here's a special teams guy that played well in the second half of the season, got a chance to come out here and start, and got one of the toughest assignments that you can have. In the slot, Julian Edelman is incredibly difficult to cover.
14 straight completions for Tom Brady. Back to the ground. Big hole, exploiting it. First down. Dion Lewis, talked about him earlier, a guy who came up with Philadelphia, got hurt, has not played at all in a regular season game over the last 2 years.
James Harrison came shooting down inside, and as Shazier tried to come out around on the other side, I think that was Trey Jackson that got him, and so they're firing some shots now. They're just not getting there.
Quick huddle and quickly to the line. Brady on first down from the 44. Pointing out Timmons as the middle linebacker. Lewis again. and Lewis for a gain of 9 to the 35-yard line. You mentioned it before, Chris. Brady telling us the other day, this Lewis could become a cult hero up here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's getting some help by this from this offensive line up front. Trey Jackson, the young right guard, that time with a good block.
And they'll huddle again, and they go this time to Danny Amendola for a first down. Tackled there by Will Allen.
One of the things you do to a defense when you sense that there is a bit of confusion is you go faster. And nobody can go faster than Tom Brady. Now when they make some substitutions, then the Steelers get a chance to catch their breath. There's Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, a guy I think by the end of this season is going to be a head coach in this league.
Yeah, used to be, was it Denver? Says he learned a lot there, came back as an assistant. Figures to be a head man again someday. As Brady goes deep and incomplete, but there's a flag, 2 in fact, as if there was any question. Cortez Allen had to reach out and try to stop him by grabbing him.
Pass interference. Number 28 defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic. First down.
So Cortez Allen takes a shot at Edelman, and let's see what happens. He kind of hooks that hand and doesn't let Edelman get it free. I think Edelman was trying to do what we've seen so much. You can see the interlocked arm there, sort of had it pinned. Edelman tried to make that one-handed play.
28-yard penalty, and now unable to get it in on first down. Bolden, it'll be second down and goal on the opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, and they've got a new use for Shaq Mason, their 4th-round draft pick at guard. He lined up at fullback on that play, just went out of the game. We really like how athletic Shaq Mason is. Kind of came from a run-oriented offense at Georgia Tech. Figuring out that pass blocking.
Scott Chandler, the tight end, picked up from Buffalo, was at fullback. Now goes into the slot. Gronkowski goes outside. Crowd sensing a pass to Gronk. And they get it. Instead, it goes to Chandler, and he's in for the touchdown. So you put the 2 big tight ends outside, crossing. Chandler goes to the outside. Gronkowski comes inside. And the former Buffalo Bill, now in his 8th year, Chandler, for the touchdown.
Well, the Steelers are being forced now to come up and play tight, but you're asking an inside linebacker, Lawrence Timmons, to cover Scott Chandler, and I think this addition of a second receiving tight end, remember Scott Chandler with the Buffalo Bills has been a guy that's been one of their leaders, if not their leading receiver there, and you just sort of harken back to the days when they had Aaron Hernandez here, and of course I don't want to tell that story, but when they had the 2 receiving tight ends, they were almost impossible to stop, and they're working them here tonight.
Belichick loves it. Has had tremendous success with 2-3 tight ends. The extra point is good. So 10:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Patriots move out to an 18-point lead in Foxborough. 50 years ago, they played the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Super Bowl I, won by Green Bay over Kansas City. There is the ring that was presented to the Packers, and on the right is the ring being worn by the Patriots after the victory last year in Super Bowl 49. Price of diamonds have gone up a little bit too. Patriots off to a great start tonight, 21-3. Patriots trying to repeat as Super Bowl champs. It first happened in the first 2 Super Bowls. Bart Starr, Vince Lombardi in 1 and 2. Then you had Miami. The second of those was the perfect season. Pittsburgh did it twice, in the early 70s and then in the late 70s. They won 4 in that decade. The 49ers did it in the late 80s. Jimmy Johnson and Emmitt Smith leading the Cowboys. Mike Shanahan, John Elway rode into the sunset with their 2. And now the Patriots earlier in this century. Can they do it again? Here is D'Angelo Williams off to the races. Out past the 40 to the 48-yard line for a gain of 28 to start this drive.
They have had success running the football here tonight. Just going to hit it right up in here. They've got the double team block going, come off on the linebacker. Good job. And I tell you, D'Angelo Williams, for a guy that maybe Carolina thought had seen his better days, and he was out about 10 games last year with an injury, loses 15 pounds, and looks really explosive here tonight. He has not been the issue.
10th year in the league. 82 yards on 10 carries tonight. Roethlisberger fires open, caught Brown, and he takes it to the 19-yard line. So Antonio Brown, that's a gain of 33 and quickly deep into Patriot territory.
Some of this protection inside here has been very good. Picking up that blitz there, David DeCastro. Little double move on the outside. That time got Malcolm Butler. Antonio Brown, he's a handful. Butler turned around and looked for the ball. Antonio Brown was gone.
From the 19. Williams cuts it back through the middle. D'Angelo Williams taking it to the 15-yard line.
You know, I don't think I've seen a team have this many big plays this early in the game and only have 3 points on the board. And it's got to be really frustrating for Mike Tomlin because their game plan is working offensively. They're going up and down the field. They miss field goals. They haven't taken advantage, and Tom Brady keeps taking advantage of every mistake Pittsburgh makes.
Yeah, they're on a pace to gain almost 500 yards tonight. Already 300 early in the third quarter. Here goes Williams through the middle, spins his way down to the 2-yard line. So the Steelers pretty much in desperate need of making this drive pay off, down by 18. Have a first and goal.
You know, the versatility of having a Heath Miller. I know he's much older now, but able to get down the field and at least get a hand there on Jamie Collins is a guy that doesn't practice but about every other day, but Heath Miller has been a bit of an institution there in Pittsburgh.
Miller sets up on the right side along with Spate and Wheaton. And they hand the ball off to D'Angelo Williams, seeking room over the left side, tries to back his way in, stopped a little short of the goal line. Second down and goal upcoming.
One of the things that D'Angelo Williams talked about, he said, I'm so much better a runner now than I used to be because I used to run with my feet and not my brain. Now I know how to press the hold, be patient, take care of it. And he said that's the thing that impressed me most about Le'Veon Bell. It took me 10 years to figure that out, and this guy comes in the league day one and seemed to have it figured out.
Second down and goal. They bring Will Johnson in.
Got both backs in.
Right, the fullback now playing the running back spot. Roosevelt Nix, a rookie in New England, will take a timeout. Belichick took a look at
a 30-second
how
timeout.
Pittsburgh lined up and says, give me that TO. It's interesting, and I think you summed it up perfectly, Chris, the fact that Pittsburgh is moving the ball. They just can't cash in. You get the 2 missed Scobie field goals, opportunity at the end of the half, bogged down. They need a touchdown here, though.
Yeah, and Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski, we saw it all last year as well. I mean, teams just can't match up. You want to try and play some one-on-one, because if you don't, if you play off against Tom Brady, he just goes dink, dink, dink right down the field. I think in the Super Bowl, I think the first 20 passes were underneath until he finally threw one deep. So you got to get in their face, but you get in their face, hard to cover those 2 guys.
Look at Julian Edelman there. Pittsburgh to the 1-yard line, and trying to bull his way in is Johnson, but he does not cross the plane. So it's third and goal. And Roethlisberger trying to go quick, trying to tell the bench, don't send anybody in here. New England trying to make a defensive change. They can't. Ben on a third down and goal. And again, Johnson. And this time, Johnson is able to get into the end zone. Will Johnson, the fullback, running out of the tailback spot behind Nixon. They go 80 yards in 7 plays to get right back in it.
Late shift down here actually worked to the Pittsburgh Steelers' favor. They sort of went out of the hole and created just enough room there for Will Johnson to get up and over the top. Another good block in there by Heath Miller. That was much needed. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the better teams at converting 2-point conversions. Now they're going to maybe take a look at that elbow. It was down, but no, they're going to let him fire here.
They're going to go for 2 to try to make it a 10-point game. Under Tomlin, as you can see, a lot of success. Keep in mind, too, if somehow the defense winds up with the football and runs it all the way back, they get 2 points. New rule. Roethlisberger trying to make it 21-11. Inside fake pass is taken in by Marcus Wheaton for the conversion. And Ben slightly limping as he goes to the sideline. 21-11. The drive, the touchdown set up by the pass to Antonio Brown. 10-point game. All right, Ben Roethlisberger needed a little bit of attention, came to the sideline, looks okay right now, was able to get his foot out of the ground, Chris.
Yeah, luckily so, and Ninkovich got him and sort of rolled up on that ankle, and I go, oh boy, they'll have an army of doctors over to look at him. Nobody did, you know. It's Ben Roethlisberger. I guess they just say he'll be fine.
Tough as they come. Michael Vick is the backup quarterback, signed him a couple of weeks ago. Kickoff through the end zone, so Brady goes back to work again with 6:43 left in the third, 21-11. Later tonight, Jimmy Fallon welcoming guests Andy Samberg and Carrie Underwood, who will open up our season of Sunday Night Football. Tonight show with Jimmy Fallon tonight on NBC. Beautiful shot downtown Boston, Massachusetts on this Thursday night. 64 degrees in Foxborough. Tom Brady has completed his last 16 passes. Lewis. Dion Lewis. 14 yards over the right side. People wondering, who are they going to use at running back? Blunt is suspended. They let Gray go. This guy takes over.
Watch the move here on the outside. I mean, there are certain guys you just can't block, right? You just got to make somebody miss, and he certainly did with Antoine Blake.
And Brady leads him right to the line, and then Edelman juggles it. It's one of the rare times tonight he can gain no yardage, in fact loses some, as William Gay makes the tackle.
Dion Lewis, really kind of a remarkable story. He was injured in 13, was out of football last year, didn't play at all, and all of a sudden you're the starting running back for the world champions? Yeah, go figure. I mean, they've got stories like that all the time in New England. Just nothing falls between the cracks with these guys.
Freshman year, University of Pittsburgh.
Fair.
Second down and 16 after the loss of 6. Four-man rush, good protection, pass caught up to the 40-yard line to turn a second and long into a third and short is Julian Edelman.
Well, and it's great having young offensive linemen up there. It's even better when you have a young offensive line and Tom Brady. I mean, he just does not hold the football. He's not going to make them look bad. We've seen Peyton Manning over the years, the same sort of deal. But these guys up front are doing a nice job. David Andrews and Trey Jackson, Shaq Mason. Those young guys are doing their job.
And 3rd and 4, here comes the blitz through the middle, and Brady gets buried by Will Allen. Safety blitz, found a hole on the inside, and buries Brady, 4th down.
Finally got something going here, coming off of right here. You come up, and then Tom Brady just doesn't see it. It was a nice job of disguise by Will Allen. He stayed deep enough that Brady wasn't suspicious and just never saw it coming. Dick LeBeau would have been proud of that one.
Ryan Allen to punt, and Antonio Brown, dangerous anytime he has his hands on the ball, will get it at the 24-yard line. Tries to go back the other way. Good coverage by the Patriots special teams group. Tackle made at the 27-yard line. A 10-point game with 4:15 left in the third on opening night 2015. The founding family, the Rooneys. There's Dan on the left, who was the ambassador to Ireland and quit that post in 2012. And Art Rooney II, watching their team, having scrambled back in the game, trying to cut it even further. Williams goes to the outside, breaks tackles, and runs out of bounds after picking up a first down. A huge night for Williams, taking over for Le'Veon Bell in his Steeler debut. He's now gained 111 yards.
Well, they're trying to come up and create some problems, but every time they try to squeeze down D'Angelo Williams, he keeps beating them to the outside. You just don't see Patriot defenses historically give up the edge the way that they have tonight. D'Angelo Williams has been sensational.
15 carries, add a yard to that total. Officially 112. If you have him in your fantasy team, you have a great night. Here he goes again. And he picks up about 5 more up to the 44-yard line. 3.5 to go in the third.
These guys are in position on the outside, and I think he is surprising them. Maybe they watched some of his Carolina tape when he was at 230. He's a different-looking guy.
And we asked him how he lost weight. He said it's all diet. He says, I'm a Southern kid. I used to love fried foods. Just stop eating.
So we fried everything down there. He really is a funny guy. He's a great guy to have a conversation with.
Very. 2nd and 5. Here he goes again, swinging to the outside. Can he turn the corner? No, not that time. That is Terrell Brown, longtime 49er. First year with the Patriots, picked up as a free agent. He'll make sure he doesn't turn the corner.
Yeah, and Terrell Brown is going to have a bigger and bigger role this year. All those years with the 49ers and the Raiders. And Matt Patricia knows that this is going to be a growing experience. Rodney Harrison talks about they start very simple in the secondary and build and build and build and put more things in. But it'll be Terrell Brown with a big role on this team.
3rd and 6. His main man Brown, bottom of the screen. He's been with Butler. One-on-one all night. Cuts over the middle, does Brown. Roethlisberger throws, hits Brown, and Brown takes the ball into New England territory to the 45-yard line.
Ben Roethlisberger must have looked at 4 different receivers here. He looked left and then back right and then just sort of flipped it over the top. That has been some battle tonight. Look at this offensive line, and they're playing without their leader, Marquise Pouncey, up there. You've got to have a lot of protection in order to hold the ball, and look at that many people. Great job up front.
From the 45, Wheaton is the motion man. Play clock at 5. Nice time. Look at that time. Going deep, and it is caught. It is Wheaton somehow getting both feet in. Working the sideline, makes the grab, gets both feet in. Big gain, 26 yards.
I thought that Devin McCourty was going to pick that thing off, but Ben basically threw it out of bounds, and somehow Marcus Wheaton catches it out of bounds and gets his feet back in. We have seen some tremendous plays down the field tonight.
D'Angelo Williams back in. And threading his way through. The 32-year-old running back takes it for a gain of 6.
Let's just go back to the protection now. 2 plays in a row for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Ben Roethlisberger, he's just holding it. Nobody is even pressuring him. 5.26 seconds in the NFL. That is a lifetime. We talked about Marcus Wheaton. He had to make some plays tonight without Martavis Bryant in there. And he stepped up, so is Darius Hayward-Bay.
Final minute of the quarter. 2nd down and 5 from the 13. Ron Foster looking back at Roethlisberger. Protected well again. Pass caught. This is Miller taking the ball to the 8-yard line. 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal. Patrick Chung made the tackle.
You know, you want to say the tide is really turning here, but I don't know that it is. Pittsburgh's been moving the ball like this up on down the field all night long. They just weren't converting, and well, they're starting to have some opportunities to convert anyway.
382 total yards. It's a lot in 3 quarters for Pittsburgh. 21-11 into the 3rd. 10-point game. Back after these messages. Statistical update for each team as we go to the 4th quarter. Time of possession 24-27 for the Steelers, who led the league in that category last year. Start the 4th. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, Foxborough, Massachusetts, with a 1st and goal for the Steelers from the 8. Pistol formation this time. A short shotgun, and Williams goes nowhere. First time they have lined up with that set. 2nd down and goal.
One of the things you'll see a lot of is Dante Hightower come shooting. I think this is him right here. Shooting through the gap here. He tries to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and then it gives some of their guys along that defensive line, that time Rob Ninkovich, a chance once the back gets diverted to then make the play.
2nd and goal. Miller comes in motion to the slot. Ben rolling, keeping. Little shovel goes to Miller. He gets about half the distance to the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal from that spot.
Sort of a semi-shovel pass, and not so sure Ben couldn't have just walked that one into the end zone. Nobody seemed to really think it was a real run fake. He was looking back inside and well defensed.
He's got Brown to his right, spreads him out. Pittsburgh goes 5 wide on 3rd down and goal. In the pocket, then sliding left, throwing, flag thrown. Trying to get Miller, and you got Patrick Chung with his back to the pass, and flags all over the end zone. 3 of them.
Just a great play by a veteran there. He
Pass
knew.
Number 23 defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
Ben really had nothing. There was nobody open. Here's Heath right here. And he realizes this ball's underthrown. Watch him just wrap his arms back around Patrick Chung like, I'm trying to get to the ball. He's not looking back at the ball. That is automatic. You didn't even have to think about it. It was going to be pass interference. Well done.
We had three flags on the play. All for the same infraction. 1st and goal from the 1. Johnson, no. They fake it to him, and the pass out of the end zone. So Johnson went through the middle. Good play fake by Roethlisberger, and then he throws it out of the back of the end zone. 2nd down and goal.
Well, the play fake, everybody in the house knew what that was going to be. He extended his arm and then just sort of relaxed after he did that. Great job defensively by the Patriots to not fall for that. That one's the easiest one to really believe he made that handoff.
2nd and goal. You still have Johnson as the back. And this time he pulls forward. Officials come in and take a real close look. But they're going to spot it inches shy of the goal line. 3rd and goal.
Roosevelt Nix is the new fullback now, and their former fullback, Will Johnson, is in there at tailback, so a lot of beef. Nix was a 4-time All-MAC defensive lineman, now playing on the offensive side. Kept getting cut, so they moved him to fullback, and he is a force there.
Same formation. Oh, Johnson is the tailback. Movement on the left side, and that's going to cost them 5.
I'll bet you Ben says...
Start. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
The shift got him to jump, but I'm gonna guess Ben's saying they screamed out something and simulated a snap count inside there, and that's why they jumped. Now, I don't know if they did or they didn't, but back in the day, that's the thing that the umpire would have been listening for in there.
Will not win the argument. It's going to move him back to the 5-yard line. It's going to put Williams back into the game, flanking Roethlisberger in the gun on 3rd and goal. Play clock at 3. They need a snap. They give it to Williams, and Williams gets taken down to the line of scrimmage. Barely got the play off. Been better served had they not.
Yeah, Jabal Sheard, though, paying his first dividend coming out of Cleveland. He's going to come out and right back in here and make this play. Did not fool him. He is an outstanding run player, and they think he's going to add a little edge for this pass rush as well. They are pretty excited about Jabal Sheard coming to the Patriots.
Scobie now a 24-yarder. His 2 longer ones tonight. Hit on a short one at the end of the half. And he turns it into a 1-possession game. With 11:39 left in regulation, 21-14 champions. Patriot Place right across the parking lot. Fans can come in, celebrate the Super Bowl wins. Done a great job here.
You know, I think it's a pretty good sign for the Pittsburgh Steelers that they've come out early in this one defensively, at least had a stop, and offensively, even without some of their biggest stars in this game here tonight, they've still been able to move the football very effectively.
And it looked like they were buried down by 18, but back to a 1-possession game. Bouncing ball is collected up at the 13-yard line by Michael Williams. And he brings it to the 22 with 11:34 left. 7-point Patriot lead. And tonight's aerial coverage being brought to you by Geico. Downtown Boston. On this Thursday night, the opener of the NFL season. 7-point game. Tom Brady, who's completed 18 straight passes, goes 5 wide here on first down from the 21-yard line. And wide open, Gronkowski. How did he get that open? And like a big truck rolling down a highway, takes the ball all the way to the 28-yard line. 52 yards.
Just a completely blown coverage out here. There's nobody in the middle of the field. The safety goes to the other way. I mean, it's unbelievable how much the Pittsburgh Steelers have given away tonight.
Brady quickly to the line, has time, floats one just off the hand of Julian Edelman. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10. How do you get that wide open?
Well, here's the very next play, and there he is again. So this has been a bit of an effort here tonight defensively, and yet here they are still hanging around and still with a chance to win this football game. They just have to come up with yet another play. They got away with the safety blitz, came up with a sack. Maybe they just have to start trying to come after Tom Brady.
That ended Brady's streak. He completed 19 straight. The NFL record is 22 in one game, 22 straight. So Dion Lewis takes the ball now to the 22-yard line. Tom Brady, so clutch, of course, throughout his career. You go back to last year in the Super Bowl, and they were down by 10, and you look at those numbers in the fourth quarter. 2 touchdown passes and a 3rd MVP award against the Seahawks, the number 1 defense in the league. 3rd down and 5 from the 22. Clean pocket, pass is caught, breaking a tackle, taking it inside the 10, then losing the ball, but there is Gronkowski. Lewis lost the ball, but Gronkowski alertly is there. Amendola signals touchdown. We'll wait for the officials. Touchdown. The break of breaks. Lewis breaking tackles, trying to get into the end zone, and Gronkowski is right there for the hat trick.
Watch this throw by Tom Brady. How precise, out in front. I mean, within inches of where it had to be to beat Lawrence Timmons on the play, and now Lewis is going to cough it up, a chance for the Steelers, and guess who? That was a perfect throw, and now we're starting to see what Dion Lewis can do. He thought he was going to score, got a little loose. That was Mike Mitchell ripping that thing out of there, and they just couldn't find it. My goodness gracious. Rob Gronkowski just...
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under review.
Well, they're going to see if Gronkowski recovered the ball in the end zone. All scoring plays are reviewed. The verdict when we come back. if you have Gronk in your fantasy league, sorry about that, but they're going to take this touchdown away and make it 1st and goal.
The New England player did recover the ball, but he recovered the ball short of the goal line and was down by contact at the 6-inch yard line. It will be 1st and goal, New England.
So Gronkowski back to 2 touchdowns, not 3. 1st and goal, inches away.
Yeah, the ball was on the line, but that was Will Allen sort of swatted it back, tried to get it back to one of his guys, and then down by contact from there.
So normally a place where Brady would try to sneak it in himself. We'll see.
He is going to face 2 really big guys if he tries to do that. Daniel McCullers and Steve McClendon will be right in the middle.
Instead he gives it to Brandon Bolden, and Bolden over right guard, and he cannot get in. It'll be 2nd down and goal with a little under 10 minutes to play in regulation.
These are 2 monsters inside, and I'm sure Tom Brady's thinking, I think I'll turn around and give it to somebody else here. We've seen really good movement the entire game by that front, but that time those 2 big guys took advantage of the young guys in there.
Mason as the fullback, Bolden as the running back. Chandler moving to the left side, and Brady will throw that one, but that will be caught out of the end zone by Gronkowski. So ain't easy getting in. 3rd and goal.
Will Allen with a fool me once kind of a play there. He needed to make that one. Forced Tom Brady to lob that one up a little too high. Dupree about took Brandon Bolden's head off, and then by the time his feet come down, both out. There's the rookie. Boy, they draft a lot of outside linebackers in the 1st round around here.
Chandler is the fullback. Bolden is the running back. Chandler now splits inside Gronkowski on 3rd and goal. And they'll throw a fade, and this time Gronkowski does have the touchdown. Had to put the linebacker Garvin on him, and he just couldn't handle him. So Gronk eventually gets into the end zone.
Yeah, you have no choice. You got to put your goal line defense in there. Terrence Garvin out there, and now he's going to say, "Ruh-roh, here they come," and everybody in the house knew where the ball was going. Once you put an inside linebacker out there, a goal line linebacker, you just throw it up. At the very least, you got to try and put some hands on that guy to disrupt him a bit. We heard all week they were going to try and get hands on Rob Gronkowski, but that was a no-win situation for Garvin there.
4 touchdowns for Tom Brady tonight. 4 touchdown passes. Gostowski for the extra point. So New England was able to limit Pittsburgh to a field goal. They answer with a touchdown, and the lead now is 14 with 9:20 to go in Foxborough. Live from Richmond on NBCSN. Last race before the chase of the NASCAR Sprint Cup playoffs. See it Saturday at 5 Eastern, presented by Smithfield Foods. Coverage begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern, with the Xfinity Series Racing, presented by Carfax.
On the extra point, holding number 90 on the defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Of course, they had the option there. They could have gone for 2, right, taken it down to the 1-yard line. The whole thing. It takes a math wizard to figure out all the options on extra points now.
A lot of new stuff going on.
A lot of old stuff going on with Tom Brady, too.
What else is new?
I don't think the distraction carried over.
He just kills the Steelers. I mean,
he does.
Been that way his whole career. And Gostowski sends that one into Revere. So, Brady to Gronkowski. 7 attempts tonight. Completed 5. 3 touchdowns, plus 1 that almost got in. But he made it pay off at the end of that last drive, 94 yards. You know, last year when you think about the Patriots, they got off to such a slow start. They were 2-2. Sky was falling. All of that, and Gronkowski was hurt. When he got healthy, away they went. 10-2 down the stretch, and then the 3 wins in post.
That Logan Mankins trade unsettled them in the offensive line for a while.
Now Williams, and Angelo Williams continues his big night. Gain of 7 yards for him.
Well, they have not missed Le'Veon Bell. I mean, let's just say that. D'Angelo Williams has been sensational. I'd say if they miss somebody tonight is Martavis Bryant. All this man coverage all over the field, and you got a guy 6'4" who runs in the 4.35 range, can go up and get some balls. It would have been nice to have that big guy on the outside, but the receivers overall for the Steelers tonight have done a nice job.
Had a little light rain falling and some heavy rain before the game, not much during it. And that pass is incomplete over the middle. Antonio Brown. Collins was there covering. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, that was not one of those fun ones if you're a receiver. Ben Roethlisberger led him right into Jamie Collins, their little linebacker here. Here he is going to drop back into coverage. And if this ball had been complete, it would have been a major headache for Antonio Brown.
3rd and 3 with 8:40 left in the 4th.
This might be 4-down territory here for the Steelers, the way the Patriots are moving the ball.
And Roethlisberger throws, and we'll see what they're going to decide to do, whether they punt or do go for it. Going to send the field goal unit out a little too early to go for it this deep in their own territory. 4th and 3.
I thought they might actually run the football there and see what happened. You know, okay, your running game's going great. You might pop one, and then if you do, or if you just get close, then you make a decision. But a lot of time left in it.
Jordan Berry, good preseason, won the job from the incumbent Brad Wing. You got a flag at the snap. Very short kick. Fair catch made at the 36, and another flag comes in at the end as well.
Of course, if it's against the Patriots, it'd be a 1st down.
Right, it was 4th down and 3. You got a huddle back at about the 30 with Carl Sheffers. Defensive foul, as you say, Chris, a 1st down. Brady warming up on the sideline, and it's going to wind up being against. Well, you got 2 flags, so you're going to get offsetting here. So regardless of the outcome, it won't be a 1st down.
Is that where is Roger?
It might be. I'm trying to decipher that. I think that is.
I gotta say, I agree with him.
Offense. That foul is disregarded. Holding number 53 of the return team. That penalty will be enforced. 10 yards. 1st down.
Well, there is the first ever "Where is Roger" chant. You know, if he came to the game tonight, where are we going to put him?
Right in the middle of that crowd.
Oh, you're right. I think anybody who knows Tom Brady expected him to come out tonight and play extremely well, and he has not disappointed. 24-28, 4 touchdowns. Another super night for Brady, who now figures to slow down the pace a little with a 14-point lead and 8.5 to go. From the 26, they start with a run by Lewis. You know, Brady, and we've known him a long time, Chris, is able to compartmentalize a lot of stuff, and he had to over the last 7 months, but I mean, the wounds are still there.
Yeah, and I asked him point blank. I said, did you destroy your cell phone? And if so, why? And, you know, he didn't mince any words. He said, my representative said, no way are you turning over your cell phone. They have no right to your cell phone whatsoever. And he said, I delete all my messages anyway. So even if they'd have gotten it, what difference would it have made?
Meanwhile, there's Gronkowski going down the sideline, and it's no good because he is out of bounds. So that is incomplete. They'll bring that one back, and it will be 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, and just to finish the story, so he said, you know, they had all those texts anyway with Jastrzemski and Jim McNally and the guys in question. They had their phones, so it wasn't like they didn't have it. So he was all fired up. Then at the end of it, he goes, I cannot believe that you guys got me sucked back into those emotions. But we saw just how raw it was from Tom Brady. And then he sort of just took a deep breath and settled back in and Came out and played like Tom Brady always does.
3rd down and 12. Well, Brady had some interesting comments, I'm sure, in his post-game press conference. Belichick will say we're on to Buffalo. That's where they go next week. 3rd and 12. Rain coming down harder now. Avoided the rain most of the game. And Brady now in the pocket, and that's one knocked down at the line of scrimmage to make it 4th down. So Pittsburgh needing a quick 3 and out, and that's exactly what they got.
Yeah, good job by Lawrence Timmons on that one, getting his hands on the football. Exactly what they needed. Almost no time taken off the clock, and the decision to punt on the last one for the Steelers, the right one.
Allen's punt. Brown has to back up as a flag down. Brown catches it on the run going backwards. It turns it into a decent run back. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. It was 4th down and 12.
They're going to have a little motion. That's an interesting call there. Do you want to add 5 to that or have them repunt that one? I think you're going to have them repunt it.
Yeah, because the punt
was too good.
62 yards.
5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
Yeah, you don't want it to be a 57-yard net punt. Sunday Night Football, and it comes your way in 3 nights as we take our traveling circus down to the Lone Star State. Football night starts things at 7 Eastern time. The New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. So they played some real beauties over the years. Hard to believe that stadium. This is what, the 7th year?
Yeah, and if you remember early on, the Giants kind of dominated when that stadium opened. I think they won at least 2 in a row down there.
Right.
I should know. We did them all.
Including the opener. They begin to run together a little bit. This time Allen's punt, a much shorter one, and it will be fair caught at the 35-yard line by Antonio Brown. So we are halfway through the 4th quarter. You know, the one thing about the Patriots, too, I mean, and you got to bring it up, the fact you have all this stuff, it's a never-ending thing. You had the 2 long-form pieces that I mentioned before coming out this week. Sometimes too much winning breeds contempt. And there's no question there are some teams in the National Football League that don't like the Patriots for a lot of reasons.
You know, who knows? We had a conversation with 15 opinionated guys the other night, and nobody had strong feelings about what really happened in this whole situation. There's just unanswered questions everywhere.
Roethlisberger throwing, and open is Wheaton, and he picks up a 1st down in Patriot territory, spotted at the 46-yard line.
Well, now you're starting to see the Patriots back up and give a little room, so there's plenty of room out here to the corner route. You know, this is a young secondary for New England growing up as well, and I think Ben's taking advantage of them just a bit here tonight. They desperately need this drive and need it to happen fairly quickly.
Good protection. Going long into double coverage and intercepted. Inside the 10-yard line, Duron Harmon coming over from the safety spot. Help over the top. Picks it off.
It helped that Duron Harmon was moving in that direction. Here he is here. He moves that way, but he had a running start on that ball because they were doing that rotation. He was moving that way, gave him a great jump, and was there to make the interception. Much better job that time as well by Bradley Fletcher. He was all over Darius Hayward-Bay. Not easy to throw those deep balls in the rain either.
So with exactly 7 minutes now, it's the first interception of the NFL season. And through the middle goes Dion Lewis. Last year, the Patriots, take a look at that. Over the last 9 games, 6 in the regular year, all 3 in post. 4th quarter touchdowns allowed, zip.
You got top-end quarterbacks in those playoff games as well, and it just didn't happen.
Overcame a 10-point deficit in the Super Bowl, two 14-point deficits against the Ravens in the divisional game. And Gronkowski signals a first down, but he's not going to get it. It'll be third down and inches and a penalty.
Yeah, but this game really shifted with that goal line stand by the Patriots when the Steelers were down to the 1 yard line, and then they jammed it in from the 1 yard line.
Number 28 defense, 5-yard penalty automatic. First down.
Call that one on Cortez Allen. Tomlin will take his team back home. They have their home opener a week from Sunday against San Francisco.
Well, I would say the issue for the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in was their young secondary. I think it's the same issue going out. I think you have to feel pretty good about what this offensive line did, even without Pouncey. Roethlisberger has been sharp tonight. Good play from the receivers, but they're not the first ones that couldn't stop Tom Brady.
Offensively, a couple of missed field goals, which has very little to do with the offense itself, but not very good in the red zone.
Well, one of the big questions with Brian Stork out, their starting center, could this guy, David Andrews, hold up? And I think he's played an excellent game. He was a college free agent, undrafted, but he was the MVP at the University of Georgia and their team captain. So here's a guy that got to play all the preseason and got a lot of experience. They played together, and for a guy that went undrafted and started for the world champs, I have to say that was pretty well done.
Brady on 2nd and 9 goes to the sideline. Edelman spins around and is able to put his head down, stays in and gets the first down. Great opening night for Edelman, who's now caught 11 passes for 97 yards.
You know, you go back to the playoffs a year ago, and all he did in the playoffs was catch 8 against the Ravens, 9 against the Colts, and 9 in the Super Bowl. And maybe the biggest play that nobody talks about was that 3rd down and 14 when they absolutely had to have something going. And he made that catch and just got absolutely drilled by Cam Chancellor.
His arm was pretty good too.
Yeah, really. That throw to Amendola was huge.
In the Baltimore game, meanwhile, Will Allen comes off the field. Stop the clock momentarily. We expected a lot of rain tonight, didn't get it, but now it's coming down pretty good.
How happy do you think Tom Brady is right now?
On a scale of 9.4.
I've got some really smart aleck remarks. I'm going to keep
I don't
myself.
know. I'm talking to myself here. Brandon Bolden up to the 30-yard line. And the Patriots can begin to think about chewing up the clock. It'll be 2nd down. Matt Patricia.
Boy, is he a good guy.
Yeah.
A smart guy, a science guy, and fell in love with football. And he is, he said it was the loneliest feeling he'd ever had in his life when they were down on that 1 yard line and Belichick wouldn't talk to him and they're screaming to coach, "Do you want us to take a timeout?" And he doesn't say, he goes, "No, just play it. I'm not giving them a break." And it ended up working out perfectly. He knew with that goal line defense in, if they were going to beat him, probably had to throw the ball, and that was his best chance.
Brady eats up all of the play clock before giving it to Lewis. Gotta love that Patricia look too. You know, the full beard, hat backwards. Want to make sure the defense sees them all in red. And of course, the number 2 pencil, a la Belichick.
Yeah, well, some things you have to do when you come here to coach. So there you go with the rookie free agent, David Andrews, in there again. And that is a big man he is going against. Able to get some movement and keep this running game going. One more first down, and Steelers have issues.
And 3rd and 4. Brady approaching 300 yards, a little floater, and that is incomplete. Lob pass, incomplete, intended for Lewis, and New England will punt it away.
Boy, the Steelers got away with one there. They didn't have anybody at all in coverage, and now Ben's going to get one more shot.
Brian Allen with his fourth punt of the night. Antonio Brown. Well, he could change things in a hurry if he gets loose. But Allen's not going to allow that. Flag is down. And that one will bound into the end zone. But a flag down at the line of scrimmage. It was 4th down and 4. The penalty was against Pittsburgh, will be a first down. But it's going to be against New England. They're going to go over and explain the options here to Tomlin again. You had a touchback.
Yeah, I think he's saying it was a hold on them, so you can march them back and make them kick it again. But you're taking time off that clock, too.
Kicking team, 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down, Pittsburgh.
I'm not sure I wouldn't have made him kick again just so that Brown could get a chance to run it back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Get it out to the 30, so not all bad.
Yep. So a tick under 3 minutes to play. Pittsburgh with 2 timeouts. Make it 3. So Roethlisberger has the time. And we'll see what he can do.
See if he can move them around with those pump fakes. We were asking him about those pump fakes the other day, and he said, 60 to 70% of them are balls I'm actually intending to throw that I just hold on to. I changed my mind at the last minute. It's not some intentional pump fake to move guys. I'm really thinking about throwing it.
A little harder to do it in this weather. There goes Ben, escaping, extending as he does so brilliantly and has through the years incomplete. Intended for Miller, second down.
It was really fun to watch the Patriots practice what Ben does best, extend those plays, and they're screaming, stay on your guy, chase your guy, and they would make them cover for 6 or 7 or 8 seconds down the field and back up, because so many times when Ben gets in that scramble mode, he wants the big play. He doesn't want something little, and so you'll see their defensive backs, they weren't flinching at all despite how long it took to get that play off.
Right, 23, right.
Play clock at 3. 2nd and 10, looking off, looking the other way, comes back this way to the left side, and that is Darius Hayward-Bay. And spotted, looks like a little short of the first down. Clock keeps on running. And it's going to be 3rd down and inches.
And Darius Hayward-Bay kind of collapsed on the tail end of that play. He should have had that first down.
And meanwhile, precious seconds come off the clock as well. 3rd and inches. A lot of seconds. And that's caught. That's Miller. Miller will take the ball to the 46-yard line. They want to take a timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning.
They got to go. They got to go. They got to get another play off here.
I think you got to take a timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning. Otherwise, no, you got the 2-minute warning. An opportunity to get an extra play in, pretty much like the end of the first half. Not very good clock management. 2 minutes to go in Foxborough. 28-14, New England.
Waiting all day for Sunday night.
Sunday night, it's the Giants against the Cowboys, season number 10. Volkswagen postgame report. Michelle on the field with an interview. Bob, Tony, Rodney, and Hines will break it all down. We'll take a look ahead to Sunday night in Arlington, Texas.
Looking forward to hearing Carrie, too. Kind of missed her tonight. We don't get it on Thursday night. I didn't know that.
Nope, not part of her deal. From the 46. Roethlisberger, the deep drop, deep pass into a lot of traffic. And it's incomplete. 3 Patriots converging on Marcus Wheaton. 2nd down and 10.
Devin McCourty right there. And Devin McCourty was one of those guys in high demand. He was A lot of people interested in him. Patrick Chung, there's McCourty, and McCourty converted over from a corner, but one of the things you always worry about taking a corner to a safety position is will they tackle, and well, he had some one-on-ones that he had to make against Marshawn Lynch in that Super Bowl, and he managed to get him on the ground. It was impressive.
Ben dumps it over the middle, but only a tiny gain, and trying to get out of bounds and unable to do it. It's Hayward Bay. Bradley Fletcher corralling him. The clock keeps running. 1:40 left.
They keep having to switch sides of the field. You know, a lot of times in the hurry-up offense, you don't see those guys having to go back and forth. They just get wherever, and that's eating up a lot of clock.
Ton of time coming off the clock. 3rd down and 8. And Ben will convert. That's Brown making the catch. He's inside the Patriot 40 for a 1st down. And a timeout taken.
Timeout, Pittsburgh. A 30-second timeout
by the Steelers. So it's opening night, game 1 of 256. Another big night for Brady. Starts the year with 4 TDs. Gronkowski catching 3 of those passes. Meanwhile, D'Angelo Williams, great job in relief of the suspended Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown, 33 straight games over 2 years' worth. Every game with 5 or more catches.
Pretty remarkable, really. There's a guy that over the last 2 years more catches than anybody in the National Football League. Slight guy with a big smile, very pleasant to be around.
6th round draft choice back in 2010 out of Central Michigan. And Ben sends one deep down the sideline, and that is caught, but a flag is thrown back behind the line of scrimmage, so that will stop the clock with 1:10.
Well, you've got one player for the Patriots, Javal Sheard, with his helmet off. Don't know if somebody knocked it off or not.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 68 offense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's the left tackle, Kelvin Beachum.
Let's take a look. 68 right there on your screen. He definitely hit the helmet, but kind of as he was going down, you know what I mean? It looked like he sort of slipped on the play and then takes away this, which would have given the Steelers a chance.
Glancing blow, but
he's still yelling.
1st and 20 from the 49-yard line. 4-man rush. And Roethlisberger, it's all he can do to hold on to it, and another helmet comes to play. That Sheard must just barely have his helmet. That's the 2nd play in a row. And he gets credit for the sack.
Yeah, man doesn't need a helmet. It's going to come right around the end here. That's a pretty good pass protector out there in Kelvin Beachum, too. And look at the way he uses his hands. They have been working a lot with his technique here. They think physically he has all the tools, and they can just upgrade that technique a little bit. He's going to be scary.
And Ben just finding anybody, so he goes to Miller. Heath adds to his collection of catches over the years. He's up near the top of the charts, and that's at the 38-yard line. They needed 27, got 18, so it's still 3rd down and 9. Brady, most wins as a starting quarterback for one team, 160, and Favre with 160, but tonight add 1 in 27 official seconds, and that will put him atop that leaderboard.
And Heath Miller, now the 2nd all-time leading receiver, passes John Stallworth tonight with 8 catches. Ways to go to get to Hines Ward, though.
Yeah. Our man Hines. An even 1,000. 3rd and 9. Ben dancing and throwing, and that's incomplete. Setting up 4th down, intended there for Wheaton. So New England will start the year with a victory. They will go to Buffalo next week, and of course that means one Rex Ryan meeting Belichick. There's Robert Kraft, the owner of this team, bought him in the mid-90s. Has watched them go to 7 Super Bowls, 4 wins, 3 losses.
No denying what that guy's done for this organization.
Well, and for the league itself, 4th down and 9 from the 38-yard line. And Roethlisberger escaping, looking, firing, and it's caught at the 22-yard line for a first down, and they'll take a timeout. One other thing about Bob Kraft, just to bring it up, I asked him about his relationship with Roger Goodell. I mean, he's always been Goodell's biggest booster among the owners. You know, it's a two-sided thing. He's got to wear 2 hats. One is as the owner of this team, he hates what's happened over the last 7 months. Hates it, thinks it was unnecessary. On the other hand, Kraft is so important an owner because he's on the television committee, the relocation, finance, all of the rest. So he and Goodell have to do a lot of business together on that end. And you talk about compartmentalizing things, that's what Kraft has to do.
Yeah, and let's face it, there's a lot of pressure from a lot of people around the league who think the Patriots don't always play by the rules. So the minute something came up, it was, hey, you got to go get these guys now. This is not right. This is a nut once again, and Spygate and all that stuff. So it has been a strange political mix this year for the National Football League.
And Roethlisberger throwing, caught, stops the clock. Weirdly enough, for people who are just tangentially interested in the game, they may be more interested in what's happened off the field than on the field.
Not me.
Not
I
me
could
either.
Not wait for it to end.
Yeah, well, we're not quite tangentially involved.
Yeah. I don't even want to get into the legal side of it. I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning the other night reading that whole legal thing. They didn't even really get to the facts of the case. It was all about due process and lack of notice and all that stuff. That's what I did.
Roethlisberger. And that is caught by Brown for a touchdown. That might make a couple of people happy in a minute here because Malcolm Butler gets beaten. It makes it an 8-point game for the moment. Well, there are a couple of things that are going to be in play here right now.
Malcolm Butler, I was just dead perfect position. Maybe he used up all his luck in the Super Bowl, but he couldn't have been in better spots looking at the ball, and somehow it missed his hands.
Well, speak about tangentially interested. There are a few people more than tangentially interested right now. And you know what I mean.
No idea.
Here's Scobie. And that created a few oohs and ahs around the country. Believe me.
I don't need you to get me in trouble. I can do that on my own.
Me too. So that makes it a 7-point game with 2 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Brown and Butler going head-to-head tonight.
You know, Antonio Brown certainly made his plays, but when you lose Darrelle Revis and you're going to end up with one of your guys who wasn't even a starter in the Super Bowl, that you're going to say, okay, go cover the best guy or one of the best wide receivers in the game, I don't know that Bill Belichick would go, that's one-sided at all. I'll take that effort tonight from Malcolm Butler, and that one, of course, the touchdown ends up really in garbage time at the end of the game.
Not garbage time for some. It's one way to keep an audience, I know that. 2 seconds remaining. 2 missed field goals were big. Red zone faux pas were big. Is it faux pas or faux pas? You're the law school graduate.
I'm going faux pas. You know, and really, you take the 2 missed field goals and the blown chance from the 1-yard line, that's the difference in the game right now.
Mm-hmm. One drive after they cut it to 10 that bogged down. Got a little onside kick here.
Yes, sir.
Gronkowski will be there, and that will do it. So the season has opened with a victory by the Super Bowl champions. Never trailed. Tom Brady, 4 touchdowns. Another big night. $25 out of 32 for 288 was Brady tonight. Julian Edelman caught 11. Gronkowski caught 3 touchdown passes. Michelle on the field. Bob, Tony, Rodney, and Hines break it all down. Volkswagen post-game report. Stay tuned next.